My pod is Boston, my pod is pure. I've got a Mukka, his name is Jord. It's Mukkapod, it's Mukkapod, it's Mukkapod, and we're gonna talk about some characters that ain't even real, and hope someone gives a shit. Ah, kid. There you go.
Greetings and salutations, not just greetings, not just salutations, but greetings and salutations at the same time. Welcome to Mukkapod, the weekly podcast that brings you news and discussions of all things in the world of pop culture, served with a healthy side of British banter. Whether it be TV, gaming, anime, movies or comic books, you name it, we've got it, and if we ain't got it, you don't fucking need it. I am your host, Jay, also known as Jamie Smith from the awesome podcast Mukkapod, and with me as always is the Sidonian himself. We do call him the Activia yogurt of podcasting because lasting satisfaction is guaranteed. It's Jord. How's it going, Jord?
How's it going, mate? These get better every week.
They do, don't they?
Absolutely.
Jord, I know you took it off the news thing, but I've got to mention up top. Last week we spoke about State of Play, and I was rather optimistic in sort of saying, we'll get some more announcements at E3. We might even have an E3 this year, but it's been cancelled, mate.
They're obviously listening, like...
They are. This is happening far too frequently that I'll mention something on this podcast or to you, and then it happens, so it's freaky. Comic-Con has been cancelled as well. More like Comic Gone.
Yeah.
Nah, it's sad, isn't it? It doesn't make no difference to us.
The world's going to
we
shit.
go anyway. You kind of want to feel like you're going forwards rather than backwards, but anyway. So for those of you who are brand new to the podcast, this is Mukkapod. What we do, the way this is kind of structured, we've cherry-picked some topics from the world of news in the geek sphere this year. Going to give you our take on them.
This week.
Once we're done with that, we're going to move into a discussion topic, and this week we're kind of doing a Wandavision series wrap-up, so that's going to be interesting to get into. And then at the end, we just want to find out how's it going, because I know this is just a podcast for you guys, but I do miss him. I miss this guy. I want to make sure he's okay, but we do try and keep it to kind of like what we've been watching and reading and give you our recommendations. So strap yourselves in. It's going to be a fucking good one this week, man. So what's the crack this week? Okay. Right, so we got a few more details for the Superman reboot. We spoke about this last week.
It's going to be played by Idris Elba. That's what I'm reading.
Do you reckon?
No.
I think they'll go a little bit younger. But let me fill the peeps in for those of you not in the know. So last week we discussed the prospect of a new Superman film. It's been announced to be in development. Author Ta-Nehisi Coates is writing. J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot are attached to produce. And then when that broke on Friday I think it was anyway, there was kind of, Henry Cavill wasn't attached, but he was keen. But from what we can kind of glean this week, from according to the Hollywood Reporter, the team's vision for the titular hero might actually be setting it up as a black Superman story. Nobody from Warner Brothers has commented on that yet, but the Hollywood Reporter have got a generally good track record. I'm here for it, man.
Yeah, sure. I don't give a shit. Make a good film.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, sure, week. Man. I say, it's what I say for everything when we hear these, speculations and rumours. Nothing's been officially said. No one's been officially cast. I don't care. Make a film that I want to see.
Make a decent film, exactly. I mean, we should have seen this coming, really, because the author's got like I said last week, he's got a track record of kind of writing these stories that have got like heavy political commentary or social commentary. He's actually writing Black Panther at the moment. Ta-Nehisi Coates is, and I missed that last week when we were speaking about him. So he's writing Black Panther for Marvel. So, I mean, it's been kind of kicked around for years, hasn't it? The idea of a black Superman. Like, I think Michael B. Jordan's been trying to worm his way into play Superman.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
No. That's when you said Idris Elba. I was kind of a bit like, really?
No, well, that was a Fast and the Furious joke.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. He did say that, didn't he?
He did say that. Yeah.
It sucks a little bit for Henry Cavill though, man. Like I was quite a fan of his take on Superman, but I never loved the films that he was in.
I don't think he needs Superman. I think
just in general.
Nah, I don't. I think he's done a couple of films. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we've got Witcher season 2 to look forward to, so it's not like he's going to be out of work. He's a decent.
He's a hot ticket.
He is. He's a hot guy, to be
He
honest
is,
with you.
yeah.
So he puts the graft in, and that's a shame as well, because like you see him absolutely grinding himself to fucking dust in the gym, and
For
then
a shit film.
he ends up being in Dawn of Justice, exactly. So no, I would have liked to have seen his take again, but I'm here for this, providing that it's, you know, it's a story that kind of is informed by the story first and then the social commentary second, and not. I don't want Superman to meet Lex Luthor and it's Donald Trump or a Donald Trump allegory. Do you know what I mean? I don't like too much real world commentary in my escapist media, because that's why I go there.
I mean, you're being optimistic. Every big businessman or every evil president in any film for the next 20 years is going to be a Donald Trump caricature, just like it was Obama for a long time. Like it wouldn't be explicitly Obama, but it would be the back of an African American guy's head.
It's Obama's head. That was in Doctor Who. I think that was in Kingsman as well, wasn't it?
I think it might have been the second.
They blew him up in Kingsman, if I remember correctly. So the response has actually been quite positive, which is surprising, and it wouldn't be surprising to me if the internet was known as a very progressive place where no one ever has any shit takes or whatever. But I'm glad to see that's it's a good thing that this is happening. Obviously, you'll have your arseholes out there that are like, oh, Superman isn't black or Superman can't be black, but it's like, mate, and this might be breaking news, but I'm going to tell you this now: Superman can be any race or colour that the writing team wants him to be, because Superman is fucking fictional.
Yes. Not only fictional, a fictional alien. It's just like Superman can be fucking green or purple, whatever. It's not gonna affect the story that much.
No, absolutely not.
And it's certainly not going to hinder a good film from being made.
Do you reckon that it will be...
That'll be Warner Bros. That do that. Sorry.
Do you reckon it'll be Kal-El, or but recast, or do you think it'll be one of these Earth 2 Supermans? I believe his name is Val Zod.
I think if they're doing a black Superman, I think they will do it as, this is the Superman in this universe. This is the definitive Superman.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be, oh, this is a Superman from another Earth or something like that. I think it would be.
No, that makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like going to be living in its own little pocket universe from the sounds of it. It's kind of like Robert Pattinson's Batman, which is coming out. So we got some good stuff on the horizon from DC, actually. So with this being announced, which is exciting, and then the Batman and what else?
Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad. Thank you. It looks like they might be turning the ship around a little bit on that. So very exciting news. We got some. Speaking of aliens, actually, we got some Secret Invasion details this week. So as you know, Secret Invasion Disney Plus series scheduled for release in 2022, probably going to be loosely based off the comic of the same name. You got Nick Fury in there, played by Sam Jackson. You got Taylor,
Skrulls being good and bad guys is what they're doing, though, isn't it?
You what? Sorry,
Skrulls are the good and the bad guys, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird kind of setup to go with. So I don't know what they're going to do in terms of the story. Whether they're going to have the antagonist be like this rogue sector of the Skrulls, or whether they're going to have the bad guys be some like the bad guys antagonists be. It makes me sound like a 5-year-old. The goodies and the baddies, Jordan.
The baddies, yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Whether it's going to be humanity. But the reason I bring this up is because there's, in addition to those two leading men, as it were, they've put some details on sort of characters that they're looking to cast. So the first is a series regular, and he's going to be a male aged about 50 to 60. He's expected to be the primary antagonist, and then they're also looking for a woman aged 40 to 60 who's expected to share some scenes with Sam Jackson, and then the last is an important supporting role for a younger female actor. And based on what we're going to talk about later, I think we know who that last one is. But if I had to offer my take for this, the older female will be Abigail Brand, who is the commander of Sword in the comics, and the older male, and this is my hottest take, Norman Osborn.
Okay.
that's
I wasn't expecting that. Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, Well, Norman Osborn.
Oh, sorry.
You're right there. You broke your bike.
Yeah, I did.
He wasn't expecting it so much. He shat himself.
I did. I had a full body spasm.
Oh, fuck me. No, Osborn was quite integral to the comics, you see, because he was leading a contingent of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time called Hammer, and they looked after the Thunderbolts, and he actually managed to get the I mean, spoiler alert for a nearly 20-year-old comic event, but he got the kill shot.
Oh, we're not known for putting spoilers up front, are we? Let's face it.
No, I was quite good just now with the WandaVision spoiler. You gotta give me some credit, man. I'm doing my best over here. But no, Norman Osborn actually manages to get the kill shots on the Skrull Queen on live TV, and he ends up coming off as the hero of that whole thing because he ended the Skrull invasion, and that's how Dark Reign kind of starts, and you get the Dark Avengers, and so that is what I'm basing that on. That it could be Norman Osborn's contingent of the government that are kind of hunted down the Skrulls, and then Sam Jackson and Talos are the protagonists, as it were. That's kind of what I glean for that. If we're looking for a 50 to 60-year-old man, why not Bryan Cranston? Let's get him in the MCU, for fuck's sake. It's been too long since I've seen Bryan Cranston in something. So, what do you glean from this man?
Nothing at all. I was going to say not a lot, nothing. It's not a story that I'm familiar with in the comics. I know the base premise, but I don't know the ins and outs like you seem to. Nick Fury's going to be in it. That's what I got from that. No, I wish we already knew.
Sam Jackson always kills it, and the Skrulls, and more specifically Ben Mendelsohn, were easily my highlight of Captain Marvel. So I'm looking forward to seeing those.
What about the cat, Jay? Did you see the cat?
Goose the cat. I keep forgetting, but like he's not reprising his role as far as we were aware. So, if Goose he
said something racist on Twitter. That's why.
Yeah, we cancel. R.I.P. Goose the cat hashtag. No, mate. The Mr. Robot showrunner's looking after this show as well, so it's probably going to be quite good. And yeah, just to quickly touch on it, we'll touch on it a little bit later on, but to give you a quick spoiler alert for the latest episode of WandaVision, if you haven't seen it, I'll give you 2 seconds to fuck off. Fuck off. I'm serious. Fuck off. Right. So not you.
Okay, I'll stay.
I need my co-host.
All right. That's right. You carry this news segment. To be fair, I'll come back in 20 minutes, mate.
I love you, man. I love you. Please stay. Don't leave me. Otherwise, it's just me chatting shit for half an hour. No, we know from WandaVision latest episode post credits that Monica Rambeau is going to be involved in Secret Invasion somehow. So, like the Skrull agent takes her into the movie theater at the end, reveals herself, and says, I've been sent by an old friend of your mother. Obviously meaning Nick Fury. He wants to see you, and he wants to see you up there. So that third one,
he's upstairs, mate.
Upstairs.
He's just on the roof.
He's just in the galley. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so we got quite a while to wait for that, but that's going to be kind of cool, I reckon. So The Boys season 3 started filming. We've had a peppering of posts on social media this past week. Showrunner Eric Kripke, if that's how you pronounce it, he shared some information.
Somehow I don't think that's what he calls himself.
Eric.
Just rocking up to a business meeting. Hi, I am Eric Kripke.
Could be, you never know, man. But then, yeah, Carl Urban shared a picture of his beautiful face with a beautiful beard in all full butcher gear, and then Starlight's actress shared an Instagram post of her and Huey's actor, captioned it "Back on our bullshit." And in addition to this, we actually got some cool set pictures giving us our first look at new character Soldier Boy. You like The Boys, don't you? You've seen The Boys.
I prefer the girls personally, but I no judgment. Whatever you're into.
The Amazon Prime exclusive series, The Boys.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Season 1's better than season 2, but whatever.
I did a big binge watch earlier in the year of both seasons back to back. I couldn't tell you which one I thought was better.
Oh yeah, you didn't watch the first season when it came out, did you? Because I remember you talking to you about it. You were like, "Nice, isn't it?" I was like, "What?"
No, I didn't have Amazon Prime. I mean, I'm kind of familiar with the source material, like Garth Ennis and his deconstruction of superheroes. Because Garth Ennis hates superheroes, so he's the best person to have penned this story. So I'm kind of tangentially familiar with that. So it was something I was going to check out. It was just having time and Prime.
Yeah.
I didn't have Prime, nor did I have time. But no, the turnaround on this seems to be pretty fast, man. Because for me, it was like season 1's out. Oh wait, season 2's out, and now season 3's filming. So they're like banging them out.
I don't think it was. It was a while.
Yeah, I thought it was like it seemed to be like one a year. I don't think the Boys season 1 was out.
I think it was a year and a half or so. But I'm not.
It's
to be honest, I can't remember. It felt like a long time. But it is when you're waiting, because we watched it when it came out. Really excited for it, and hooked from that first scene with Huey and his girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, that's a mad scene. A good way to, like you just said, hook your audience in.
Yeah, set the scene for the series and stuff as well.
I like that episode, where they're trying to figure out how exactly do you kill a superhero, because they've got the Invisible Man, or Translucent, I think his name is, and that whole crew's got him, and they're trying to, like, right, what do we do here? I love that episode. It's probably my favourite one of all of them. I like how in the second series it kind of holds a mirror up to that woke movement as well, because like obviously being progressive, you think you're doing a good thing, and we are, but the corporations on the other end of this, like the kind of corporations that'll set it's Pride Month, so we've got a rainbow flag as our display picture, and then the second it's midnight at the end of Pride Month, it's just straight back.
No, it's not that. It's the ones where they've got like a Twitter account for every territory, and then they set the Pride flag for everywhere apart from like the Middle East and Russia,
or like Hong Kong or something like that. No, yeah, they don't give a shit about what we're involved in. Do you know what I mean? And I like how the Boys kind of holds a mirror up to sort of like how coldly manipulative marketing can be for these kinds of causes. So I'm the point I'm trying to make is that I'm very hyped for a season 3. I'm glad that they're managing to film it.
Oh God, mate, yeah, me too.
Yeah. Did you see?
Definitely.
Did you see Soldier Boy and that set photo? Because he kind of looks like he's going to be. They've got a few spots on the 7 at the end of season 2. Let's be honest with each other. And he's I think like a Captain America parody.
Yeah, it sounds like it. No, I haven't looked.
He's turning up to some sort of event and like taking in the crowd's adoration. So I think it's kind of pointless to speculate on it, because I know a little bit about Soldier Boy from the source material, but the show changes so much about the source material that it's almost kind of pointless to speculate. If memory serves, and if they do go down the line,
I can see it, man. What a shit costume that is.
Yeah, it's kind of Captain America-esque, isn't it? But like Avengers Captain America, like the not good one.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. They're all kind of bad in the Boys, though, aren't they? I think they're that way by design.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But no, yeah. If they do follow kind of what he is from the comic books, if memory serves, he's kind of like a Gilderoy Lockhart kind of character. He talks a big game, but really he's got no skill.
God, Jay, that was a left field reference. That was.
Trust me.
Wasn't expected a Harry Potter 2 reference. Yeah, there we go.
Firing out those Harry Potter references. 5 points to fucking Huppledore.
So Gilderoy Lockhart.
Yeah, I do, but I don't know
Hufflepuff.
No. I had a girl that I was romantically involved with at some point, and she used to say to me, "You're such a Hufflepuff," and I've never looked into what that meant. That could have been an insult. That could have been her being flirtatious. I don't know. But apparently I'm a Hufflepuff. So
do I know this person?
No.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
No. Get your fucking teeth around this one, man.
Yeah, Gyarados confirmed for
for Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, yeah. Shiny Gyarados, I should add.
So, toy leaks are forever spoiling movies. I remember spoiling Giant Man in Civil War by sending you a pop figure, and you were like, Jay! I'm surprised we're even sat here.
I'll never forgive you for that, honestly.
I learnt my lesson, because did I not text you saying, do you want to see a toy leak from Shang-Chi before I sent you anything? So I've learnt my lesson.
Yeah, but I don't know anything about Shang-Chi, so it could be... It's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
I don't either, and I don't know what I was expecting this movie to be, but I wasn't expecting this, and now I want a trailer, and I want to see what this is all about. So it's a Lego set. from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It's a set from the movie's run of Lego sets. It shows off our look at the main character in his gear, sort of on the right hand side. There's like a render of it, but also shows what's called the Battle of the Ancient Village, giving us a tease at a few characters. But the most noticeable feature is that giant fucking dragon spitting out blue fire. Yeah. So that's Fing Fang Foom, right?
Maybe. I don't.
I think it was reported on a few months ago that a section of the movie will take place in the Valley of the Sleeping Dragon, which is his lair in the comics. I don't know many other Marvel dragons other than Fing Fang Foom, and it's unlikely to be the one from Iron Fist. I just wasn't expecting. Say again.
The dead one that's propping up
the dead
New York.
one. Well, I don't know. Is that canon? We don't know. I just wasn't expecting, ancient villages and dragons and such. I think Iron Fist kind of informed what I thought this show was going to be, and I thought it was going to be more grounded, but I forgot that this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah. So.
Nah, they're gonna have been like, everyone was moaning that we never saw that dragon in Iron Fist, so yeah, let's put a fucking dragon in.
Yeah, let's put more than one dragon in.
How many dragons do you want?
Four
dragons.
At least four. One post credits and one to have a Disney.
Enough to crash Skyrim. That's how many dragons I want.
No, yeah, it's meant to be out on the 9th of July this year, but I think that's an optimistic release date. But this tickles my pickle in a big bad way, mate. In a big bad way.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no, same. What do you think of his costume? Looks pretty good.
Looks fine.
From what we can see. Yeah, I like it. It doesn't look shit.
It doesn't look shit. Doesn't look amazing. Yeah. But I don't really care too much about a costume for a character that I'm not a big fan of the source material.
Overly familiar with. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, like when we get like Miss Marvel pictures, I want that costume to look shit. I want that costume to look like a fucking 13-year-old made it in their room with their mom's sewing machine.
I sent you that picture, didn't I, of her in a costume? And you were like, that best bit of Halloween costume, mate.
I don't remember
that. We're going back a while.
We're
going back a while. There's set pictures. So. Yeah, 90s nostalgia continues on this podcast, mate. We've got our first official images from Space Jam 2. Offers a look at LeBron James in action and the animation style. Coming from Entertainment Weekly. Big yes on the animation style for me. It reminds me of Detective Pikachu. I like it. I like it a lot. If you were gonna sort of bring Space Jam as it was into the modern day, this is like the perfect realisation of that for me.
100%. No, it looks good. I haven't seen Space Jam.
What?
I've asked Kate to watch it a few times, and she's been like, "Nah, I'm not interested." I think she saw it as a kid or something, but whatever.
I have very, very fond memories of Space Jam, and I'm surprised about that because obviously over here in the UK, basketball's not really a thing. That much anyway.
Yeah, I find basketball the easiest sport to watch.
I like basketball too, but it's not a. We don't sit down on a Thursday afternoon or a Friday night to watch the basketball. We watch the footy. Do you know what I mean? The soccer.
Well, we don't watch either. So.
We don't. Yeah, but as a nation,
yeah,
our national sport tends to be like either football or rugby, depending on who you're talking to, or cricket. Do you know what I mean?
Tennis,
depending on who you're asking.
Golf,
tennis.
Not basketball.
Everything except basketball and baseball.
Yeah, that's
we
basically
don't even have baseball. We call it rounders.
Yeah, we call it rounders, and it is exclusively played by 10-year-olds.
They make you do it. They make you put these shorts on in the -10 weather and just go and play rounders. So I'm sick of it, man. Down with rounders.
Down with rounders. Start a campaign on this podcast. You heard it here first. Ban rounders from UK schools.
I won't dwell on it then if you haven't seen Space Jam, but the only other thing I wanted to mention is the Lola bunnies here. This is the character that awakened 1,000 furries, but they've toned down her sexuality quite a bit, which is to be expected, really. Do you know what I mean?
Obviously I know who that is.
Yeah, we all. I was going to say it awakened 1,000 furries in our youth, but
1,000.
But no, yeah. Please don't put overly sexualized rabbits in our kids' films anymore, please. But the way that they've redesigned it, they've done a more strong than sexy, which is kind of the way that Hollywood's going. So that's to be expected. So
Go woke or go broke, Jay. That's what they're saying.
Absolutely. All right, so just as a very quick aside then, before we move on, there were some set photos from Thor 4 More Thor, and it looks like we're getting another one of those sort of play scenes. You know, like you had Matt Damon and you had Liam Hemsworth and Sam Neill doing that kind of fake performance for to wrap up the Dark World when Loki was pretending to be Odin. But there's also Melissa McCarthy there, and she's in the role of Hela. So that's going to be quite. I'm not a huge fan of Melissa McCarthy, but I can imagine it's going to be the same kind of thing. I don't
hate her. It's more she's made the same film 10 times, or played the same character in the film 10 times.
Yeah, a lot of actors do that. They play to their type. They know what makes them money. It's like The Rock. The Rock is the same character in every film he's in ever. So, just kind of be careful. You don't want to lean too much into like the Austin Powers kind of thing where they did the same joke for like 3 movies, and it's not going to be funny for too much longer. Do you know what I mean? So just...
No, I don't think it'll be. I think the context will carry it. I think there'll be a funny situation that it's just there in the background of probably. I don't know.
It's sort of the same as Ragnarok then, I suppose. Yeah, that could end up being funny. It's quite interesting to see Melissa McCarthy in the costume at the side of like what Cate Blanchett looked like. So that's kind of interesting casting choice.
And as I've told you before, Hela may be my top villain.
I think she's up there for me as well. I think 2017 Marvel did some really good villains. You know, you had Ego, you had Vulture, you had Hela.
It's tough between Vulture and Hela. I think Hela takes it for me.
Out of those 3 that I've just mentioned, I think I'd go with Vulture more than Hela. But she was a good villain, especially for a Thor film. But there's not much really to go on with those.
Well, you didn't like Malekith.
Did you not like Loki, Lord of the Ice Giants?
God, he was the villain.
He was, wasn't he? He was there for a bit. He had that big dog.
He did, yeah. He did have that big dog. He was.
What happened to that big dog? Is that still in London, or did they like shoot it or something?
Oh, I'm sure it was covered in an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode or something.
Oh God!
Remember
we don't need to.
They used to just go and clean up after those films. That was all they did for the first few series.
I'd like to see a Damage Control. Speaking of Spider-Man and Vulture, I'd like to see a Damage Control series of that kind of thing, because they could do like little 20-minute shorts where there's all these little plot holes in what happened to this in the MCU, and you just see them going around, kind of see the aftermath of it. I think that'd be funny. I want more one-shots, man. Bring back the Marvel one-shots.
Yeah, I'd rather see that as a one-shot than a series. I don't need a Damage Control series. I did 5 years ago, but the time's passed.
Not
really. No, the time's passed for it.
Our time has passed, John. Right, so I was aware that something like this existed, but never in my wildest dreams did I think that I would actually see it with my own eyes. Man of Mustache, it is on the document. You want to feast your eyes on these. These are production images from the Justice League reshoots that show Henry Cavill in full Superman gear, but with his Mission Impossible mustache.
Take to Google, guys. Take to Google. Check this out. It's worth. Oh man, that's glorious! Why did they just leave? Oh, that film would have been so much better if they'd have just left the mustache.
Yeah, the mustache gate thing just still blows my mind to this day. 3 years later, grow a beard, grow him a beard, done. Yeah. Done. That's it. You've saved yourself millions, and it doesn't look like shit. Just grow a fucking beard. Like, oh.
If it was for reshoots, though, wasn't it? So it's like you'd have to stick a beard on the rest of him. But what they should have done is stick a CGI mustache on for the rest of it. Just, instead of removing it, add it to the rest of the film.
I don't think Paramount let them do that, because that was the whole thing, wasn't it? It's like, we'll pay for you to shave.
No, I'm saying Justice League should have added the CGI mustache.
Oh right,
to keep it consistent.
Man of Steel, like special edition, like George Lucas Star Wars, but with the CGI mustache.
Just every Superman property, we go back to the 70s. Every Superman property, stick a mustache on. It's canon now. Superman always has a mustache.
No, there you go. Idris Elba or Michael B. Jordan, if you're listening, grow a mustache. That's what we're saying. Thank you, God, for this wonderful, wonderful day. I never thought I'd live to see this. It's absolutely incredible. Also, mate, Justice League has had some more news this week. Like 6 parts it's going to be, and the names are out there. But I'm sick of talking about it. Do you know what I mean? It's out in 2 weeks, and we're going to do a whole ass episode on it. So I'm going to skip by that if you don't mind. Yeah, so I'm sick of hearing about it. I'm sick of hearing about your stupid film. Just release it and let it be good now. Do you know what I mean? It's the same with Godzilla vs Kong. As much as I'm looking forward to that, there's just a new thing about it every single week, and there's only so many times you can look at something and go, "Yeah, hope it's good," until you become redundant.
I'm going to watch that. So, I'm going to watch that. Someone tell Sony this, because that's a big Sony problem. That is.
Oh God, they absolutely ruined The Amazing Spider-Man 2. That film wasn't good. Anyway, but they ruined that. Do you remember?
It was like half of the footage for it was online before the film came out.
Most of it, and it wasn't like leaks or anything like that. It was like officially rubber stamped trailers, and it was just the whole fucking film. You could piece it together. It's like why even see this now? But yeah, right. So I'm going to transition now to a little section that I like to call Sound as a Pound or Down on the Ground. Yeah. So I've got a handful of trailers and announcements in front of me. I'm going to run them down in our own little Black Country way, and then me and Jord will tell you if we think them sound as a pound or we put them down on the ground. Jupiter's Legacy. Got a first look. So this is Netflix's own superhero show from the Millerverse, which they've purchased the rights to in 2017. This is the first full show that we're getting. Sound as a pound or Down on the Ground?
The trailer, Down on the Ground. Am I looking forward to the show? Absolutely. This is it's an intro. You know, like Marvel's Daredevil, you know, you got the blood dripping on everything. It's all CGI. It's an intro. That's all this trailer is.
Okay, I put it as Sound as a Pound. I kind of like how the artwork that, you know, Frank Quitely seems to have sketched the scenes, and then it kind of colours in and comes to life. Shows that they're taking the page to screen adaptation seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at that cape and I thought, man, that's a fucking detailed cape. But then also at the same time, I need more than a detailed cape to get me excited about watching a show.
The start, I live and die by how detailed the cape is.
Okay, fair enough.
It's like Batman Arkham Asylum. That game, they must have had like a whole crew of people just focused on the physics of that cape, and I kind of lived and died on that. And it's like, I'm pretty sure I brought it for the cape. Nah, I'm kidding. So as the first look opens up, there's this chap who's being arrested, like the big hunky guy who I think might be the main villain of the piece. And I was looking, I thought that guy looks familiar, so I looked up who was playing him, and it's Sabretooth. Tyler Mane.
Oh, the original Sabretooth.
The first Sabretooth. Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a minute since I've seen him in anything, so he's kind of come full circle in his career. You know, wrestler, supervillain again. So we just need to get him back to wrestling. I think he was Mike Myers for a bit as well, actually. So.
He was what?
Mike Myers?
Oh,
not Austin Powers.
Yeah,
Michael Myers.
Took me a second there, to be honest.
Okay, on to sadder news now, mate. The Simpsons has been renewed at Fox for seasons 33 and 34.
Oh, mate, stop kicking him. He's already dead.
Big down on the ground for me. Let the Simpsons die with what little dignity they've got left, man.
Oh, funny. End the fucking Simpsons. Wait 10 years. Do a Simpsons film. Simpsons movie 2. That'll make a fucking killing. That'll make more than all of the series that you're going to make between now and then.
Absolutely. I don't think I've ever spoken to a single person in my life, in real life or on the internet, that likes the modern Simpsons. Like, it's been fighting for breath since like season 10, and it just hurts me, man, because this show's very near and dear to me. You know, I used to watch this stuff on Channel 4 when I was a kid with my dad, and it really informed my sense of humour and that kind of thing. And it's just, the damn thing isn't funny anymore. The characters aren't likeable anymore. Yeah, people will say, but it makes money. It makes money, but I don't know how much you can milk this cash cow.
It's just, but it probably makes as much money as sticking a burning log on in its icon screen in its place would. You know, you have those Netflix shows that are just burning logs that people can stick on the telly to set the atmosphere. I'm sure it makes as much as that at this point, but it's
like it makes as much money as an ASMR video. You're not making money off the Simpsons brand off the back of new Simpsons episodes, are you? Look at Friends, right?
Play the old ones, you make more money.
Absolutely, but let's take a second and we'll look at Friends. That's been off the air for 15 years, right? And that still makes money on merchandise hand over foot, and it's still kind of fondly remembered by a majority of the fan base. Do you know what I mean? I don't think we'd be saying the same thing if we were sitting here discussing that Friends had been renewed for seasons 25 and 26 right now.
Absolutely not. But then you look at The Office. The Office was the highest grossing TV show last year, or something completely fucking stupid like that. It made like $100 million last year. I mean,
and how long is that new, or has that been off the air for a while?
It's been off the air for ages. It's just the streaming rights for it are so in demand by Netflix and all these other places that they fetch just extraordinary prices. It's such a grab. Simpsons isn't. If Simpsons stopped airing 10 years ago, Simpsons would be making that sort of money to be. I
don't know the motivation behind it. It's like doing it because they can, and I thought that maybe the merger, the Disney merger, might have led to some creative team changes. It doesn't seem that way. It seems like the showrunners are going to be consistently the same from seasons 32. Just let the Simpsons die.
I mean, Matt Groening, he's been gone for ages, hasn't he, Matt Groening? He's been gone for a long time. He's got his name on it, but he's more focused on other things. I think he's quite hands-on with Futurama, and he's very hands-on with Futurama's been dead for a long time.
Yeah, but what I meant was like when that was being made,
he left The Simpsons for Futurama, I think.
Yeah, but obviously you still put your name to it. But I wouldn't if I was Matt Groening. I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know, mate. Yeah. Please stop with the Simpsons.
Yeah, please stop. Now. Disenchantment's good. Watch it.
Yeah,
it's really good. I really enjoy that. Me and Kate we'll sit there and binge it when it comes out. When a new part, because they do parts instead of series. I think. Weird.
I need to watch it, man. I saw it. I watched a bit of it, but I need to sit down and actually consume that.
It's not like The Simpsons and Futurama where everything's the same at the end of the episode as it is at the start.
Oh right, so it's not like a episodic thing. It's more of a.
It's an actual linear story, and we really enjoy it. I would recommend it to anyone that likes Futurama, and I'd say more Futurama than early Simpsons. But because of the fact that it's like an ongoing story, it's not like it hasn't got the same like gag per minute rate as the others. But it's pretty good, man. Pretty good, pretty funny.
I'll put it on the list. There's a lot of content at the moment, mate, but I'll put that one.
Mate, this list that you've got,
it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, mate.
Massive.
So we've got X-Men. X-Men are in development, but not really. Like Marvel Studios.
What does that mean? They're going through puberty.
What?
They're in development.
They're in development. They're going through puberty, but
okay.
Also not really. So Marvel Studios is currently developing an X-Men based feature film, tentatively titled The Mutants. Sand on the ground for me, because like don't call it The Mutants or X-Men. Call it fucking X-Men.
Call it the Old Mutants. That's what we.
No, don't call it the Old Mutants. Just fuck the mutants off. Just call it X-Men. Marvel Studios X-Men. It's what we need. It's what we crave. I want the X-Men.
I don't want X-Men. I don't want mutants. I want a film called fucking something to do with Mr. Sinister. Name a film like a proper comic book name, like The Rise of Mr. Sinister or something like that. Give me. I want a villain-based X-Men film.
See, I thought this would be good news for you, because you'll get your obscure mutants that you enjoy. You'll get your sunspots and your long shots and your. I'll have
long. Oh, I'll tell you what. Longshot is the character that I most want a film for. Because do you know much about Longshot?
I know Longshot. Yeah, I know that Mojo and things
and he's he's not a mutant. He's an alien. He's just friends with the X-Men, so he's an X-Man. he's got like fucking 3 fingers. Give me a Longshot origin story, mate.
Bring it all back.
I think one of the few origin stories I would take is someone like Longshot at this point. Someone with just a completely bizarre and so off the wall story. Give me that.
That's exactly what I want. I don't want like the Morlocks that live beneath the sewers of New York City or whatever. I want Nightcrawler and Colossus and Storm and Cyclops in their bombastic 90s style but modernized MCU costumes, because we never really got that. Like the original X-Men films, they're good for what they were at the time, but that was kind of the era where comic book movies were still like embarrassed by the source material, if that makes any sense. So that they wore these Matrix style leather gimp suits rather than the 90s kind of inspired ones. But that's what I want, and then I want them to, like you said, just do these off the wall, get them in space with the Shi'ar Empire and the Starjammers, get them in the Savage Land with Kazar and the lads and the dinosaurs. You know, there's so much fucking stuff.
There is.
But I'm glad that this is in development.
Oh, what's the island where all the mutants go to? Is it Krakoa?
Genosha. Krakoa is the living island. Genosha is the...
Okay. What I like is the way that you introduce them is that they have been exiles for a long time. They're already on that fucking island. Professor X can walk and he's got the weird helmet. You know, give me all that shit, man.
I love it. Yeah, no, I'd like that. And there's other shit that you can. There's so many years now from X-Men lore that you can pull from. You could have them. You could do your classic Westchester school, or you could take them to San Francisco. You could take them into space. You could do whatever you want with them. I do kind of get the logic of calling it something different, because if you're a man in the streets, general public who doesn't enrich their life by fucking watching this podcast, you might not know that the X-Men films have even changed hands. So if you see something called X-Men, it's like, I don't want to go and see that because the last one was shit. So I understand that there needs to be some sort of rubber stamp, like this is a different thing, but I don't want Marvel Studios The Mutants. I think you need to shout loud and proud, this is the X-Men are fucking here in the MCU. So
also drop the I'm gonna, this is my this is my fucking
mutant.
Yeah, mutants. Fuck it, drop the it's like that's my social media reference for the day. Have you seen the film Social Network? Sorry.
The Social Network. No, I haven't.
Oh, it's what's his called? The guy who created Napster, played by Justin Timberlake. Is it in that film? He says, he's like this cool dude that's actually a complete fucking cokehead and stuff like that. He's like, and drop the. So that's how they went from the Facebook to Facebook.
Is that the Facebook? Oh yeah, I'm with you now.
Sorry, got to explain my references when you don't understand.
I've never seen it. That's also on the list, but that's been on the list for a
Shocker,
while.
mate. So. It's a good film.
I know. So the last thing I want to...
And he won't make you like Mark Zuckerberg any more than you were.
I don't think anything could, man.
No, he's not likeable, in it?
Mike Sarah, no,
Jesse Eisenberg, yeah.
Those two are so similar, don't you think?
I know. I've heard other people say that, but I've never seen it.
Really? I think it's just the way they carry themselves, just features wise. Yeah. There's that thing though, isn't there? Like you can only, the human brain can only store a certain amount of faces before it starts to get confused or whatever. But anyway, I digress. Alien Fireteam, that was announced this week. Basically, it's released later this year. It's developed by Cold Iron Studios, and it looks like Left 4 Dead with aliens instead.
Yeah, it looks good. It's going to be 70 quid, isn't it?
No, it's got a PS4 port, so it's probably going to be closer to regular price. It's not a next gen thing.
To be fair, it's coming to Steam. So if I do get this, it'll be on Steam because I won't be getting anything for PS4 anymore because my PS4's broke.
I've offered to give you a PS4 this week, man. I said I'll give you a fucking PS4 because I want you to play some of these games, man. I really do.
Can't be accepting that, mate.
I'm coming on to this now, so it's good that we've said that. But sound as a pound, but with a big asterisk.
Sound as a pound, yeah, 100%.
Been burnt by Alien games before, and by all accounts, Predator Hunting Grounds was shit. So. But I like the concept, Left 4 Dead, but with aliens instead. Four player co-op. Of aliens.
Left 4 Dead, but with aliens instead. That's the new name.
That's the title. Take it and run with it. It makes me excited for like what PvP options you're going to get. Can one of your teams play as the aliens, and the other team play as the Marines?
I think the gaming industry learned their lesson from Evolve, didn't they?
I was so excited for Evolve.
I know, you didn't shut up about it, and then you paid full retail price for it as well. Like
it was
fucking
Evolve, Jay. I don't want to talk about it. I was so excited for that game, though.
Yeah, I still can't believe you paid full retail price for that game. It was like a tenner a week later.
It's like £2 now. You can see it for £2 in CS, and to me that's not worth it. I've kicked myself. That's the rule. Mate, never get excited for anything, ever.
Yeah.
Like, are you excited for your birthday this year? Don't be. Alright.
So I wasn't, to be fair, so...
Well, don't be. That's good. What are you excited for? You excited to have some food after this podcast? Don't be.
I'll throw up. You throw up everywhere, mate.
It's got one or two things to talk about in the world of gaming, and then we'll move into Wandavision. I've put this on simply so I can gush about Ghost of Tsushima, I'm not going to lie. But the real-life island of Tsushima is going to be honouring the work of Sucker Punch by making both the game director and the creative director of Ghost of Tsushima permanent tourism ambassadors. And they say that they're going to do that because the pair have spread the name and history of Tsushima to the world in such a wonderful way.
Oh, wow.
This is fucking wholesome, man.
Oh, that's really nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You don't get those sort of recognition.
No.
But that also means, you know, they must have done a good job at it in the story of the game.
Ghost of Tsushima is easily my game of the year for last year, mate. It was fantastic. I had an amazing time, like start to finish. I put about 80 hours in all the way through, doing all the little side missions and stuff. The world itself, I don't think it's a one-for-one comparison. I don't think you could flatten the map of Ghost of Tsushima onto the real life Tsushima island and have it be one for one. But the world,
I'm outraged. I don't want it now.
0 out of 10. No, but the world itself, it's so kind of varied. You know, you've got your Japanese kind of bamboo forests, and then, you know, just a sea of white lilies and lotus flowers, and from there you can go up into the mountains and visit the hot springs, and you play as like this samurai who's questioning his way of honor, because it's set in like a real world event, which is Tsushima Island is where the Mongolians first set foot into Japan in their attempt to conquer the mainland.
Yeah.
And the only thing between them and the mainland was the samurai of Tsushima Island. You play as one of these guys. I think he's a proper honor-bound samurai, but he has to sort of discard his honor a little bit because this enemy is like nothing we've ever faced, and they know that the samurai are predictable, and they use that against you. So you become kind of like the first ninja, as it were, and it's just fucking brilliant, man. It's absolutely awesome.
I would to be honest, it's probably something I would have picked up if my PS4 worked. Being quite the Japanophile, as you're very well aware.
It's sad. It saddens me more than anything, more than God of War, more than Red Dead Redemption 2. It saddens me that you haven't played Ghost of Tsushima. Being a big fan of it's a bucket list location for both of us, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? We want to visit Japan like as soon as we can. And hopefully together as well. So as soon as
fuck your family, Jay. I'm going with you.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm not even mad. As soon as the restrictions kind of let up and I can come to the area, mate, I'll come and visit you, and I'll give you my PS4 and with Ghost of Tsushima. You can fucking play it. Like it just has to be done, mate. You don't need to thank me. I'm just doing my job.
You're forcing me. I don't even have a say.
You'll thank me for it, but no, this is just wholesome. I just wanted to mention it. That's awesome. Yeah, like Sony are going to collaborate with Tsushima Island, set up new tourism campaigns.
That's cool.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah. Jord with fucking ear again, mate.
Just want to say they're going to add DLC to it, where it's the modern day and you just go and kill tourists with a samurai sword.
The ghost of Tokyo. What's that really busy station? Shibuya. Shibuya Station. The ghost of Shibuya Station.
The ghost of Sumimasen.
Can I finish?
Yeah, sorry.
You got any more? It's alright.
The ghost of sushi. No, that one's just... Okay, next.
Fuck you. That probably makes you the 10,000th fucking person on the internet to make that joke anyway, mate. George, we fucking here again, eh we? Every time something bad happens, they blame the media that we consume. Alright, so this was on for last week, but obviously we had drama and it ran a bit long, so I took this off. But I still wanted to fucking talk about this. So, in Chicago, Illinois, there has been a spike in carjackings. So lawmakers are trying to introduce a bill to prohibit the sale of violent video games, and mainly GTA 5. So they want to amend some existing legislation that means that minors can't buy it to...
They already can't buy it. There's an age rating on it. Fucking hell. Okay. I've said to you 1,000 times we won't get political on this podcast, but the reason they do this is so they don't have to increase funding in schools, they don't have to increase funding in youth centres, and all of this shit that we know factually actually reduces crime. It's like, what can we do? Oh, we can blame a video game. Fucking hey! Fuck off.
This is the main thing that tickles my pickle about it. It jigglies my puffs, as it were. So the proposed bill also changes the definition of violent video game to one in which players control a character within the video game that is encouraged to perpetuate human-on-human violence in which the player kills or otherwise causes serious physical or psychological harm to another human or an animal. So fucking all video games then.
Fucking Smash Bros. Banned.
Banned, yes.
What else is
we might be able to play Animal Crossing. I don't know. I don't play Animal Crossing. Can you hit them?
Oh, they're furries anyway, mate. Don't worry about it.
No, yeah, fucking Smash Brothers banned, Pokemon banned, like...
Yu-Gi-Oh! Banned. You can't destroy someone's life points anymore.
Video games are not
World of Warcraft banned.
Just ban
everything.
It's Crash Bandicoot banned. You know, just Mario banned. Like you change that definition, and you're not going to be able to get any video game. It's not raising a generation of violent criminals. Politicians really that out of touch that they think people are that easily led? Because I love Breaking Bad, but I've never sold a bag of meth in my life.
Mate, it's a scapegoat. It's what I've just said. It's so they can blame something without any of that blame being on themselves, and without having to spend any extra taxpayer money on stuff to help actually prevent fucking crime. It's so annoying.
If they just looked inward, just slightly, and I don't know why because it's the Democrats as well, so these are meant to be the good guys, you know what I mean? These are the progressives, and they're supposed to be helping us out. But if they took just one look inwards and realize what you just said, you know, maybe we should fund, you know, I mean it sucks that this is happening. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that something shouldn't be done about this, because it must be a horrible environment to live in. But it's not GTA 5's fault. It's a growing desperation, especially with the current pandemic and everything like that. You know, I don't want to get too deep into it. Basically, this guy, Marcus Evans Jr., is a wet wipe. You know. That's the long and short of it. Spend the money and resources that you're spending on this.
He's got a kid at home who would rather play GTA than talk to him. That's what the problem is here.
FIFA banned.
Yeah, FIFA banned.
That ball used to be a
tackle
cow,
someone?
and you're kicking it around the field. So ban it. Oh my god, fuck that, man. It riles me up. On to happier things before we get into Wandavision, man. There's a company in the USA that is offering £250,000, $250,000, I guess it would be, to anyone that can prove they have a superpower. So this is being offered by the Centre for Inquiry Investigations Group, which is a group. It's kind of dedicated to science and anomalies in people and things like that. So they set up these tests for anyone who thinks they're supernatural. If you pass them, they give you a payout. And I'm thinking we could probably cash in on this. We could get this bread. Come on, Jord. What you got? What you got, man? Like, I can fall asleep anywhere. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. That's my superpower. I can fall asleep under any
you can.
conditions.
I've seen Jay fall asleep. Like, just click his fingers at work, fall asleep for a full lunchtime, and wake up on the last minute and go back to work. I don't know. I fucking did that.
Surely that's a superpower.
It must
I
be.
might apply.
What have I got?
What you got, man?
I can make my fiance mad at me without lifting a finger. However, maybe not lifting a finger that makes her mad at me. So.
No, I think that's just a genetic thing for guys, man.
Fair enough.
I don't think you're special.
I have this superpower where I don't see in normal vision. What I actually see in is like a massive blur. and I don't know how it's helpful, right? It doesn't. I'm yet to
that's
understand the benefits of it.
That you can see.
Yeah,
that's the world between worlds.
And that's all I've got.
Cyclops, and you need your visor.
Oh no, okay, no, genuinely, I create the most earwax out of any person on earth. I swear to God. I clean them all the time, and then, oh my God, it's so much earwax.
See, I think we should apply, man. You know, fucking sleepy man and earwax boy.
There we go.
We're going to be the next fucking the next government sanctioned superhero team. So, and that's it. That's it for news. That wasn't too bad. Like, we've been trying to get it leaner and meaner for the last couple of weeks, and I think that was not a bad run at it. To be fair.
Yeah, that was it's about just over 50 minutes. Let's try and get that down to 40, 45, and.
I will do, mate. I will do. I'm every episode, and I'll let the people at home know this as well. Every episode, I'm listening back to it, and I'm trying to just make this the best fucking podcast it can possibly be. So every week, and if you go back and watch our first episode, which I don't recommend you do, and then watch the second episode, the third episode, the fourth episode, and this one, little improvements every single week.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit of a dip for last week when I was so tired that I might as well have just been drunk. So
how are you doing this week, man? You're looking a lot better. Your colour's back. The swelling's gone down.
No, I'm good. Yeah. My cat hasn't jumped out the window. Everything's going. Good. Everything in life is going well. No, I was working from home this week. So
how is Tinkerbell? Is she on the road to recovery?
She's massive dickhead, mate. So all good. Everything back to normal.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
that's good, man. That's good. Just a touch of housekeeping then before we get into the podcast. Before we get into the podcast, we've been doing it for an hour. Yeah. Before we get into the topic, numbers are still looking good. Subscribers are still coming in. Thank you so fucking much, all of you who are listening to this and liking and commenting. We are not only available on YouTube, which is obviously the recommended version where you can see our lovely face. Well, George's lovely face and
well, to be fair, I'm not too sure about that because we're monetized on the other platforms.
Don't watch it on YouTube. So
just audio only, please.
It's a fool's game. Switch it on. You know, on YouTube, you can't even go and give your dog a bath or whatever while listening to it. Don't pay for YouTube Premium to do that. Go and watch this on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Google, on Amazon, wherever, everywhere. God, you can say the immortal likes. I know you wanted to.
We're available everywhere you get your podcasts.
Hey! Happy days. All right. Well, thank you for sticking with us with the news section. We'll have a little nicotine break and then we'll come back and we'll talk about Wandavision. Thank you.
Sound.
It's Marvel! It's Wandavision!
Yay!
Yeah! Let's do it!
I didn't tell you, but you sent me that before me and Kate watched it. So when it was coming on telly, I played that clip.
I wish I could have been there. To see
She just gave me the funniest look. What the fuck you doing, man?
I don't want funny looks. I want laughter. That's what I exist for. It is what I need.
It's the sustenance to help Jay grow.
Absolutely.
That's why he's such a big man. He gets that laughter.
Yeah, the more laughter that you... It's like that Peter Pan thing, you know, rather than I do believe in fairies, you need to just laugh at my shit jokes and just... You can laugh at me. I'm not going to be offended. You can just be like, look at him. It's fine, though. I feed off it. You know, it's what I need. It's what I crave.
Absolutely, mate. What am you, 9?
What am you? Wandavision, mate. It is over. There's no more episodes. There's no more speculation. It's gone. It's finished. We watched that last episode. So, as a collective, as a series, what do you think? What do you take away?
It was good. It was a good journey. They did they nailed what they wanted to for the week-to-week formula. They wanted people speculating. They wanted the social media attention, and they got it. They played,
for better or worse.
We played right into their hands with it, didn't we? Everyone.
There was a lot of speculation. Did the speculation take away from your enjoyment of it overall, though?
No, that stuff always adds to my enjoyment of a show. Like my favourite part of watching Attack on Titan on a Sunday night with Kate is us both whipping out Reddit a minute later, going straight to the discussion thread on the Attack on Titan subreddit and talking about it and stuff. So no, I like it.
The part where that falls down for me is when people in comment sections and on Reddit have got better ideas than the people running the show, which is a lot of my disappointment with Game of Thrones came from that, because a lot of people have done like these really intense theories of connecting everything together with prophecies from the book, without realizing that the showrunners didn't care about it as much as they did. and I'm not. It's not a shot for shot comparison. I'm not saying that Wandavision is season 8 of Game of Thrones, but there were elements of that in there for sure. But we'll get into that. So, picking up, because we've talked about WandaVision on our podcast. We did it on our first episode. I wouldn't recommend going back to that, because it is fucking hard to look at, even compared to like
it was like a beta test, the first episode, if anything.
And we were like, yep, this is good, but we're going to do it so much differently. Let's upgrade our gear and come back and do it properly. So just to summarise that first batch of episodes and kind of what I said on that last podcast, I kind of liked the rise in tension. I was very anxious watching those first 2 sitcom only episodes. You know, that they're designed to be funny, but it's not funny because you kind of know where it was going to go. And then as soon as episode 3 hits and the ending of that, and then going into episode 4 where it's kind of like, okay, you guys wanted answers, here's your fucking answers. And then from there, for me, episode 4 is the best episode of WandaVision.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I was
episode 8 is the best episode of WandaVision.
Came close. That one came really close. But the thing about like kind of episode 5 through to about 7, nothing really happens apart from like the last 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? It's like nothing's happening. Fucking hell, that's a good ending.
Well, it's more like if you look back and you think about like the Quicksilver stuff, like those episodes have got worse because of the reveal that we got.
Do you want to talk?
Let's do it, mate.
Quicksilver off the back. Okay, so you cast Evan Peters. And you know for a fact what you're doing there. You know what you're doing with that casting, right? That
you know what the internet's going to think. You know what's going to be top trending on Twitter. Mm-hmm. You know all of this stuff.
I feel and then to put full spoilers for WandaVision. By the way, I forgot to say that we suck at giving spoiler warnings.
We really do.
Full spoiler warning for WandaVision. So you get to episode 9 after the post-credits stinger, which I believe was in like episode 7. And it's firmly established by this point that it's not Pietro Maximoff. But who is he though? Like
Evan Peters.
And then Evan Peters in a role where the punchline is that his character's surname is Boner.
Yeah, all of that speculation, all of this, you know, they told us that it leads into the multiverse of madness. They hire the fucking Quicksilver actor from the X-Men franchise. They've got the rights to the X-Men. All of this for it to culminate in a fucking dick joke. It is.
Dude, fuck you. Like, honestly,
Me?
This actually... Not you, no, not you, not you, and just Marvel in general. Like, this does feel like a massive slap in the face to people like you and me that actually give a shit about this stuff and read into it. And you can say that it's subverting expectations, but I get the same vibes.
Mate, it's pissing on expectations.
Trust me, I get the same vibes from this as I did in Iron Man 3, with the whole Mandarin twist. And
I see that never bothered me, but
you go through that whole film and you think about how good it is and how good the villain is and how good Robert Downey Jr. is doing and Don Cheadle's doing, and then they drop that bomb and it takes you
fucking
out
Guy
of it.
Ritchie.
Yeah. Ridiculous, man. I get the same vibes from that here, and it's very manipulative. That's what I don't like about it. They did that so that they could do what you said and get it trending on Twitter, top of Reddit. and it's free marketing for them, really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just feel very coldly manipulated. I would rather it be fucking anyone else rather than Evan Peters. If you were going to do this,
exactly.
Get Aaron Taylor Johnson back if you can, and then
I think at the time he said he won't.
Oh, yeah, but so someone else then.
Chuck him a big bag of cash. I'm sure he'll do it for a big bag of cash.
That's what Paul Bettany said. There's an old interview of him talking about transitioning from Jarvis into Vision, and he was like, it's a very different vibe. I used to show up and they'd put me in a recording booth. I'd say my lines and they'd give me a large bag of cash, and then I'd go up my way. No, fuck that. Like that. It
almost ruins the entire show for me.
It spoils my enjoyment of it. Yeah.
And it was a good show. It's 100% worth watching, especially if you're an MCU fan. And like, just leaving it behind for just a minute, the acting in this is phenomenal. Catherine Hahn nailed it. Elizabeth Olsen nailed it. Paul Bettany nailed it. Which are obviously the three main characters. The supporting cast, like Jimmy Woo, Darcy, Monica Rambeau, all really good.
Really nice to see those guys sort of being established characters in other films. Darcy a lot more toned down than she was in the previous movies. I wasn't irritated by her every second she was on screen as I might have been in previous Thor movies. She went and got a doctorate, fair play to her. It was nice to see some of these returning characters. One thing I missed initially, and it had to be pointed out to me, is because Jimmy Woo's in Ant-Man and he's fascinated by the close-up magic, isn't he, in the Ant-Man 2? And then in the episode where he...
sorry, it's not called Ant-Man 2.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
You'll get cancelled.
Sorry, Ant-Man and the Wasp, or the Wasp and Ant-Man.
The Wasp and Ant-Man, yeah.
We good?
Yeah, we're good.
But no, he's fascinated by the close-up magic, and in the scene where he introduces himself in episode 4, he gives Monica Rambeau his card, but he makes it appear like the close-up magic. I just think that's really cool.
No, it was such a good little detail and callback.
It's these callbacks and details that make it just makes me angry, though, because they knew what they were doing then, because they know enough to pay off these little fucking character traits from other films. So you know what we're gonna think when you cast Evan Peters as Quicksilver. I need to let that go for the rest of this review. I need to not keep bringing that up.
I'm a bit blinded by my annoyance of that. And the rest of the show was good.
It was, but like I kind of said, it in that episode where it all kind of hits the fan, you see what it's all about, and you get those horror undertones with zombie vision and everything like that, and they're setting up Wanda as this kind of tortured threat, and they don't really pay that off by the end of the season. I don't think it didn't go where I thought it was going to go. So should we talk a little bit about episode 8, because aside from episode 4, that this is probably one of my favourites, because you get a lot of MCU backstory here. You get a lot of lore, and one of the good things about it for me is that you get to see why it's sitcoms. Why is this sitcoms? Because through all her life, Wanda has used them to deal with trauma. So when shit hits the fan and she loses vision, she takes that to the ultimate extreme of like, I'm going to retreat into my escapist world. Yeah,
and it wasn't just
a big bad way.
It wasn't just that she uses sitcoms to cope. That's why there's no basis for it. It's just what she does. It's that her family were getting her to learn English for obvious reasons. Living in sort of what I assume to be a third world country in the MCU, sort of war-torn.
It's Sokovia, isn't it? War-torn Sokovia.
And obviously, so that those kids can go and build a decent life somewhere like America. It's an American film, isn't it? And it makes total sense that they would use sitcoms and stuff like that to do it. I'm trying to learn Japanese. Don't recommend learning Japanese exclusively through anime, but it's great to be able to pick up on how these words that you're learning are actually pronounced by people that speak the language. Don't take grammar from anime, because it's not how people actually speak. But the individual words.
A pen pal or something. I've heard if you want to.
Yeah, I've got someone that personally, I've got someone that's learning English, and I've got someone in Japan who's learning English, and we have a chat every so often and
that's cool, man.
Speak on voice chat and stuff.
That was kind of nice to see that this family has obviously set aside some time. It's like, all right, in English, please. You know, we're only speaking English for this next hour, and then you get to see that story that was told by Aaron Taylor Johnson in Age of Ultron, where the first shell comes down, makes a hole in the middle of the apartment, kills the fucking parents, and then we're staring for 2 days at a Stark Industry bomb, but it doesn't go off. But what they expanded on here is, did she?
Well, yeah, it's heavily hinted
magic.
Yeah, she did, and
so her powers didn't come from the Mind Stone then, which was interesting to me because I always assumed that Pietro and Wanda were created, quote unquote, by the Hydra experiments with the Mind Stone.
Well, no, so it's almost it reminds me of the comics a lot because she has these kids and they've got like the Maximoff gene, and one of them's fast and one of them's weird. To quote Maria Hill.
I love it. Well done. You can stay.
You can stay. So it's like it's almost is in their genes already, and that's what they were hinting at back then. But we get it confirmed that yes, she was. And you know, you look at Doctor Strange. I'm guessing that not anyone can learn magic. It's not something that anyone can go and do, but you have to sort of be sensitive to it. You have to be force sensitive, magic sensitive, to be able to get to that point. It's not just something that the witches and the wizards in the world just click their fingers one day and could do all of the magic. Like they had to be shown and trained. And
the fact that she could do it at such a young age, and the amount of sort of subtle references in the show throughout, especially with Monica Rambeau and all that, like when they were talking about mutation and they're talking about, you know, the hex has genetically altered you, and the fact that Wanda, like I said, could do this at a young age. I'm really surprised they didn't lean more into the kind of comic origins of Pietro and Wanda, where they're, you know, the children of Magneto and they're mutants rather than being genetically altered.
Yeah,
so I'm very surprised.
Imagine if it was Michael Fassbender as in the apartment scenes. That would just and then you find out no, he wasn't playing Magneto.
He's not Magneto, but he's Wanda's dad. Fuck you. But I'm over it. I'm over it because there is some beautiful scenes within this episode. Mainly the one between Wanda and Vision in the compound just after, I'm guessing, between Age of Ultron and Civil War. Before I get to that though, actually, was Wanda flirting with the Mind Stone in that scene at the Hydra base? I picked up on some weird chemistry between her.
We know that she likes. She's not into humans. Put it that way.
Exactly.
Maybe.
So is it Vision that she fell in love with as a being, or is it the Mind Stone?
Because when they kind of stare each other down.
Yeah. Say again, sorry.
So I didn't get that while watching it, but it is an interesting take. It is possible that it's not Vision she has the connection with. It was the Mind Stone. So I don't know.
That's kind of what I took away from it. It was weird because there was like some chemistry between them, and it's literally just a amorphous glow.
Sorry, Matt. I watched that episode twice, and I didn't pick up on that either time. I'm afraid.
That might be me being weird. Watch our last episode as well, when I talk about Baby Driver and ruin it forever for Jord, because it turns out Baby might actually be in love with his mom, and
freak. And that makes too much sense as well. It makes more sense than this. So
yeah, you haven't stopped thinking about that since last week, have you?
Arsehole, mate.
Lost sleep and everything. I love that scene between Vision and Wanda when they're kind of watching Malcolm in the Middle, and he's sort of trying to get comedy. He's like, "Is that funny because the man grievously injured himself?" And then he tries to offer some comfort to her, and she's like, "Well, the only thing that will bring me comfort is having my brother back." And he's trying to understand that, but he's never lost anybody that he loved like that. And then he drops a fucking line and a half when he says, "Well, but what is grief if not love persevering?" And that is such a good.
It was, yeah.
It broke me in two.
It was very, a thing isn't beautiful because it lasts. From the end of Age of Ultron, and he has had a couple of those lines where they are really well written.
Yes,
and it's not like fucking r/I'm 14 and this is deep. It's actually kind of deep stuff, you know.
Paul Bettany's never jumped out to me as an actor before in anything else, but he's got such a range in this, from his comedic timing in the earlier episodes to some of his more heartfelt stuff in the later episodes, and even playing kind of a mirror version of himself. He's a cheeky fucker as well. Paul Bettany.
Yeah, I know what
you know
what
I'm going to say.
Yeah.
He said there's a surprise character in this, and I've wanted to work with him for years. We have great chemistry together. It was himself. Bastard. But no,
it was Paul Bettany all along, always has been, sort of me. You know?
This stuff is wearing thin though. The stuff that Spider-Man cast were doing last week, and this kind of meta narrative, is it Quicksilver, is it not? This stuff is getting fucking old now. Do you know what I mean? Like, all right, Marvel, you've had your fun now, and you need to stop.
Just make us the films and stop fucking with us.
It's not funny anymore.
No,
it's getting to the point of genuine frustration for me on this kind of stuff. As somebody who's invested in this universe and has given you a lot of money over the years, do you know what I mean? Please stop fucking wearing your t-shirt now.
But it'd be officially licensed.
Stop
Jay.
it. Yeah, it's officially licensed. No bootlegs. What else? So then Wanda goes to see Vision. And it turns out that she didn't steal his body, as that lying fuck Hayward had told us she had.
That lying fuck not Ultron told us.
Not Ultron.
He'll henceforth be known as Not Ultron.
Director Not Ultron. So that's another kind of one-liner that fucks me up a little bit when she goes...
Say again, sorry. Ultrisant?
Ultroff,
yeah. Okay. Sorry, I just went...
Yeah. I've lost my train of thought.
Sorry, that's my fault.
Yeah, so that scene where she goes to see Vision, you get the gleaming of that kind of sinister character that they were setting up in the earlier episode, so I kind of liked that. Like, Wanda's scary again in this scene. But that's also got another little one-liner that fucks me up when she goes to it. She's like, I can't feel you, and I'm like, oh fuck me, Wanda. Like, this is sad. This episode is sad.
Yeah,
what did you enjoy that scene or get kicked in the teeth by it?
No, I did. I like how we all sort of took it as fact that she probably did go in, fuck shit up, and stole Vision.
It just seemed to be where they were going with that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there was footage and everything.
And then we get to, the end of the last episode, and he's like, Wanda, what the fuck am I, mate? And she's like, they're part of the Soul Stone that I swallowed, or something like that. You know,
I told her there was some chemistry between them, man. She swallowed some of it.
Jamie,
I'm sorry.
But yeah, and then you look back to the special effects that they used when she was creating him, and yeah, that isn't her red shooty magic shit that's making him. It is Soulstone coloured, and he still does have those powers that he had before. So yeah, those powers are Soulstone based. So it all makes total sense.
He is real. He's not, and same with her children. They are real. It's not like they're.
I mean, you're getting into
conjured
post credits a bit there, but
yeah. Okay, all right. Okay, I suppose the only other things to touch on from that episode is that she goes to a plot that Vision had set aside for him as a place to grow old. This episode had something against me, man. This episode wanted me to have a bad day. Do you know what I mean? It just kept hammering me with these sort of heartfelt moments, and you get to see how she created the hex that enveloped Westworld, and they called it Westview. And then they showed you get the name drop from Agatha. We should probably talk about that twist as well, actually. But you get that name drop from.
Well, really,
from
a
Agatha.
Twist at that point, was it?
I called it in the episode that we did when we were talking about it, and I was like, "This woman's probably Agatha Harkness from the comics," and then it turned out. But they had a catchy number.
Oh, that was amazing. That was one of the highlights of the season. It wasn't just I am this person, or we get like a quick 5-second clip at the end of an episode that shows her practicing magic or some shit like this. They went, no, we're going to do a musical number for this.
A musical sitcom intro, like really firing back at,
and going through all the past episodes to show her, my favourite part, that was when she's like got a picnic on the grass. Like, that's where she was when Evan Peters turned up doing the...
It's where we should have been instead of watching it as well, actually, but for all the payoff that we got. Yeah, killed the dog as well. This bitch is worse. This bitch is worse than Thanos. But yeah, Agatha name drops the Scarlet Witch at the end of that episode, and then you get Doppelganger Vision in the post credits to set up my disappointment for the next episode.
Another Ultroff.
Yeah, Ultroff. And then we were on to the finale, and it's a shame that after all the weirdness and all the quirky stuff and all the kind of new shit that we haven't seen in the MCU yet, that they were peppering out throughout the season, that it culminates in a big CGI fight with two characters throwing different coloured energy balls at each other.
Yeah, and it's not even like Wanda decided. Wanda was like, "Oh shit, my magic doesn't work against this person. What I need to go and do is destroy the White Vision and get my Vision to come and fight her." Because then it was more okay. We're going to have fucking Iron Man versus Ironmonger again. We're going to have Black Panther versus Killmonger. We're going to have go on, name some.
This person with the person with an identical power set.
Yeah.
Fight.
Yeah, it's the Marvel trope, in my opinion. It's the one that they fall into the most.
People say like, "Oh, every Marvel film's the same." I don't agree with that, but there's a lot of the lesser kind of filler Marvel films that do follow that formula. I don't think that all Marvel films are the same and follow this formula, but there is truth to that saying. You know, that there is a Marvel formula, and it sucks that this ends kind of in that way. However, I did like that Vision defeats his doppelganger by having a philosophical and existential debate.
That's very MCU Vision. I thought that was all right. Where the fuck did that doppelganger go? That's my question.
We don't, because the way they kind of cut it is that he goes, "I am Vision," and then it cuts, and I almost thought they'd merged together because it cuts to the Wandavision Vision.
Yeah, and it's like I said to you, I thought Wanda was just going to smash their heads together and it'd become normal Vision again, but with a triangle on his head instead of...
She probably could have done that.
She probably,
to be honest, I'm not sure why she didn't. I'll tell you what would have made sense that why she couldn't do that, if that was fucking Ultron, like I hoped it would be. I even saw this post online that was like Ultron was missing his left hand during his last confrontation with Vision at the end of Age of Ultron, and when you see that doppelganger, the first thing he does is he looks at his hand and smiles, and I was like, we're getting Ultron. but no, we're not. Like,
missed opportunities out the arse in the culmination of this series. Again, it's going to sound like we didn't like it, but they set up. There was so much fertile soil that they'd set up throughout the series. You know what they're fucking going to grow there: tomatoes, potatoes, whatever. Nah, they just grew a Vision.
They went to the supermarket or brought a KFC or something.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's subverted our expectations, and I like KFC, but this could have been a lot. There's fertile soil here that could have been a lot better for you.
Absolutely.
That was a sick analogy. I impressed myself.
Mate, that was a team effort. So
it was 10 out of 10. I'll give you a high five. Fuck yeah, man. Wanda says something interesting to her kids. After all said and done, she tucks them in. You know, your mom and I are very proud of you boys. Good night. And she goes, "Boys, thank you for choosing me." What do you glean from that?
So they already. What I get from that is, I don't get the specifics from it, but yeah, they basically come into this world fully developed personalities. Mm-hmm. You know, actual kids that age, they have personalities because they've grown into them, and they've got 8 years worth of life experience under them, and it's that's what shapes a person, isn't it? But they've already got that. So who were they before? Possibly, I think it's they didn't have normal human bodies; they had fabricated ones. But jumping into the post-credit scene a bit, it seems like their souls went somewhere. So it seems like they have like actual human souls or actual demon souls, depending on what theories that you're looking at, and maybe they did choose her. Maybe she reached into hell to pull some fresh souls out, and they were the ones that wanted to go.
We don't know. That's the thing. I hope that gets elaborated on somewhat in the future, and it sounds like it's going to. I did jump ahead a little bit there, so I do apologise. That I thought it was really clever how Wanda kind of throws back in Agatha's face kind of what happened in the previous episode. She tries to cast a magic, and Agatha's like, doesn't work unless she casts runes, don't you know the fundamentals?
Yeah,
and then
she, I was like, why is she missing? Why is she hitting the? That's clever. Well done.
Yeah, and then obviously you get that comic accurate, but with an MCU flair costume, the Scarlet Witch costume, which looks great, fucking great.
Looked really good.
Awesome.
My only complaint, my only question with that is, so she cast all of these runes, but Agatha was still flying. So can she just fly separate to all of her magical abilities?
I think when you notice something like that, a wizard did it.
Yeah, fair enough. Doctor Strange just on the outside of the barrier, just like...
And then obviously she traps her in the nosy neighbour personality and leaves her in Westview, so she's not dead. So that's good. Marvel always kills their villains and then just can't come back to them then, but the fact that they've left her alive there, that's good that this character still exists. Whether she'll appear in future MCU movies or whether they'll do a season 2,
maybe Mordor will go wake her up, who knows. Something like that would be pretty cool.
She said, you've got no idea what you've unleashed, you're gonna need me. What was unleashed? Just the power of the chaos magic, the power of the Scarlet Witch.
Probably, yeah, because I mean, as we know, she is like stupidly reality altering powerful, not like quite Franklin Richards, but she ain't far off. And when it comes to like when you're talking about powers like that impressive and stuff, what's the fucking difference anyway? If they haven't got someone that powerful to stop them, they basically can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, because she seems to have kind of a lid on it towards the end there, but then they roll the post-credit scene as she's like out in the mountains, wherever, whether it's Wundagore, where she was born in the comics, or whether it's Sokovian Mountains or whatever.
I was expecting it to be Kamatage when they were flying over the mountains.
Yeah, it was distinctly European for me, so I didn't get that vibe at all. I didn't think it was the Himalayas or whatever, but no, yeah, she's there making tea, and then they show her reading the black magic book and the sinister music playing, so maybe she hasn't got as much of a lid on it as we were led to believe, but stick the landing with that a little bit more then. Like, is Wanda this malevolent force, or is she a hero that's been up against it? Do you know what I mean? Like, pick a lane, don't give me the one or t'other. Do you know what I mean? Does that make any sense, what I'm saying there? Like,
yeah, it makes 100% sense. It reminds me a lot of the early days of the Sylvanas storyline in World of Warcraft, which obviously you won't be familiar with, but they did a very similar thing there, and the way that they went on with that is that she did end up being the bad guy, but then we were at the point again, is she? And they keep just fucking with us like that, and I don't want that with a character like Wanda.
Like Wanda, no. Daenerys Targaryen as well springs to mind, even though again it's not a shot-for-shot comparison, but it's like they decided to pick a lane with that character, but like literally did a hard right into that lane rather than setting it up. And I think this could have been a that kind of Mad Queen storyline done right, because they had all the trappings there. It was all very well set up, and then. Yeah. And then towards the end, they kind of backpedaled a little bit, maybe because they didn't want their protagonist to be this evil, not evil, but like this sort of malevolent force. But it still looks like she kind of might be. And I don't know where to take it. We'll have to wait for 4 years until we're allowed outside again and can see Doctor Strange 2, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I could speculate out my arse, but I am tired of speculating about Wandavision for
I'm not gonna do this with Winter Soldier Falcon.
I don't think it'll be a show that you can do it with.
It looks like it's a lot more back to formula.
Yeah.
Back to formula.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, but saying goodbye to Vision in a very emotional way kind of gave me the wubub a little bit, mate. So like I could have cried if I'd allowed myself to. I totally could have cried at that scene. That was heartbreaking.
He didn't quite get me like that.
No, it's just the what's the line? You know, I've been a force without a body. I've been a. Say again.
You've frozen.
Oh shit! Am I back?
No.
Wait for me to come back. Technical difficulties for the audio only listeners. Am I back?
No.
Is my head moving?
No.
Oh, that sucks.
Just leave and come back and be fine.
Leave and come back. Do apologise. Am I looking? Am I moving?
Yeah, mate, all good.
Right, awesome. Hopefully you can make a seamless edit there somewhere. So I can't remember where I was talking about. Oh,
no,
fuck.
sorry. As soon as you froze, I just got distracted.
So what was the line that he says? He says something like, "I've been a voice without a body to being a." I can't remember what the third one is, and now I'm just a memory, so who knows what I'll be next. We've said goodbye 1,000 times, so it stands to reason that we'll say hello again, goodbye, my darling. And I was like, fuck you, Paul Bettany. Like,
to me, a phrase like that, it's like, Vision ain't done then. The Vision storyline isn't over, so. But that's what I wanted out of this. I didn't want it to be, okay, you can have fake Vision for a TV series, and that's it. Because I thought the Vision's demise was too soon for a character in this universe.
As in Infinity War?
Yeah, I want a couple more films out of him.
We knew it was going to happen, like in the run up to Infinity War.
You were telling me since fucking what was it? Age of Ultron that
Ultron, yeah.
Thanos is going to pull that fucking stone out of his head, and he did.
He did. Yeah, I called that. I was texting you in the week in the run up to it, man. I was like, "You looking forward to going to see an Infinity War and just watching Thanos rip that stone out of bad boy Vision's head?"
It's going to happen, wasn't
it? We got him in Civil War. Do you know what I mean? So we got some.
We got him in Civil War, but
that's another thing actually, because you are right. And now that I think about it, is this relationship even earned? Because a little bit of screen time together is Civil
we get the
War.
hint in Infinity War that it all happened off screen pretty much. Because it's like, we can't keep doing this, like hinting that they've been meeting up in secret for a long time, and it's like 4 or 5 years later since they went into hiding and all of that, and so I'll give them a pass. Sure.
I suppose, yeah. She seemed to fucking care about him quite a fair bit as well, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think with that you can also go down the road of, she's lost so many people, so even if she feels even slightly attached to someone and they're taken away, it'll just fucking ruin her.
Yeah, nail on the head there, and it did. So, and that's how we got the series. So then she flies off, and we get a little bit of a look at the aftermath and a little bit of a tease for Secret Invasion, which we touched on earlier. But if you have used time codes to skip here, we get a post-credit scene with
Mate, why would you say that? I've got to do the time codes for this episode now. I didn't do it last week. I was too tired.
Yeah, but you've had some sleep this week.
Yeah,
man.
fair enough.
And don't forget what was it? Super HD PNGs this week that'll make us shit our pants.
Oh god, yeah.
Lose our shit. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. You'll lose your shit.
You did promise.
I did.
So,
I did.
Yeah. So. Monica Rambeau is sort of taken aside by a no-name character who then reveals herself to be a Skrull and says, we've been sent by Nick Fury and he'd love to meet you, like you said earlier, upstairs.
On the roof.
He's over there. Wouldn't that have been cool if it was Darcy or Wu or someone?
No, it would have made sense.
Come with me, and then
I don't think it would have made sense.
I don't know. I think you
also,
could have woven that in.
And if either any of those characters were a Skrull, it kind of would have ruined things for me a little bit.
Do you think?
Because I want those character developments that we've had. It's like the whole Loki thing, like he's lost all his character development now, so I'm a bit less interested in that series than I would be if it was the up-to-date, the Thor Ragnarok Loki.
Yeah, the Earth 616 or whatever Loki, like Prime. Well, I'm sure the
Loki
Marvel
Prime.
I'm sure the MCU actually has like a number assigned to it. You got like Earth 616 and shit
I think
like
it's
that
been,
in the
if it
Marvel
hasn't been
universe.
assigned in the films or the other comics, like like they do like prequel comics to them.
Oh, the fandom will have done it, is what I'm talking about.
No,
like,
I'm pretty sure it's been assigned in the normal 616 comics.
Oh, really?
I feel like it has, yeah, at some point.
Okay, all right. I'll look that up after the pod. I'm not going to look it up now because we've already had some technical difficulties. So I don't want to derail again. Final thoughts?
It was good. I enjoyed it. I looked forward to it every week. But fuck you, Marvel and Evan Peters. It's not Evan Peters' fault, but fuck you know.
No,
just pisses me
apparently he's a bit of a dog shit bloke anyway, so fuck him. Like, it's, apparently, that's what I hear.
I hear other things, but
okay, fair enough. Don't fuck him then.
don't fuck him.
We'll leave that open to interpretation, like a good post-credit stinger. Fuck him or don't, you decide.
Yeah.
I think it was a good watch, right?
Yeah, it was.
I'm glad it exists, right? But it could have been a 10 out of 10, and it ended up being about a 7 out of 10.
I'll give it A.
If it had kept up building that dread that kind of the first 5 episodes had, and sort of Wanda being this driving malevolent force just a touch more, so that maybe we left WandaVision on a bit of a bleaker note, with a less sort of cinematic Marvel spectacle finale to set her up as the antagonist for Doctor Strange 2, which we know her to be in, to set her up as kind of this person that could pull off a House of M and bring the mutants to the MCU like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just kind of left me a bit lukewarm almost.
Yeah,
but it's not. I suppose it's not the show's fault for what it is.
The show thought that we'd be watching Doctor Strange in a month.
Yeah,
don't forget that.
That's true. Actually, that is true. It wasn't even meant to be the first Disney Plus show, was it? It was supposed to be Winter Soldier first last year.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So.
But right. So Wanda, I recommend it. Go and watch it, especially if you're a fan of the MCU. But kind of watch it as a collective rather than week by week. I think time will be kinder to this. Time will be kinder to this series.
I wish it came out all at once. Obviously, the way this show is, like,
especially the way they played us. Like I've said in previous conversations with you and even previously on this fucking podcast that I like the episodic nature of it because I like the discussion surrounding it on the internet. That might no longer be the case. Do you know what I mean? I might backpedal on that a little bit. I'm not sure that enhanced my viewing pleasure of it as much as I thought it was at the time. Plus, you've got to remember that this is the first MCU thing that we've had in a while, and we're hungry for it. We're starving, and when you're starving, you'll eat anything, and you'll fucking rip the scraps apart and dissect it and all that bollocks. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully that won't happen again, and maybe I'll try and stay out the conversation a little bit, and maybe when we talk about it, we should do more of like a first impressions on the first couple of episodes, then leave it entirely and then do a wrap up like this. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yep.
I'm not that bothered. I think with Falcon Winter Soldier, we'll just wait till the end.
Yeah, cool. That's it for WandaVision. So, Jord,
you don't get to do this. Fuck off. This is my thing, Jay.
Go on, sorry.
Azitgewin Mates.
Azitgewin, dude. Woo! Azitgewin, what's going on? Tell us about all the shit that you've done. Azitgewin, our kid. I watched a really interesting Netflix original series this week called Russian Doll. And it was super cool. You've seen it? Yeah, good, isn't it, man?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Would recommend, yeah.
Awesome, yeah. It's very much like that kind of live, die, repeat thing. Edge of Tomorrow. A lot of video games are doing that as well. Returnal's doing it. Deathloop's doing it. For those of you who haven't seen it, there's like this kind of, I wouldn't describe her as a party girl, but it's kind of like a girl, a woman staring down the barrel of 40, who's got no real sense of direction in life, doesn't get close to people, alcohol problems, drug problems, or whatever. And it opens up at her 36th birthday party. She's in this bathroom. She goes out into the party and she meets a guy, takes him home, fucks him, comes out onto the street and notices her missing cat over the other side of the street. So as she goes to collect this cat, she gets hit by a taxi, and from there it cuts straight back to the bathroom on her 36th birthday, and she dies, and every time she does, she's kind of reliving the same moment, and it all evolves from there, and eventually she meets someone who's in the same predicament as she is, and it just kind of spider webs out. It's really clever. Really clever.
It's a really clever show, and there's lots of small details like the fruit rotting more and more that really make you think about okay, what's actually causing this. No, I mean there's a lot of things to do it right. You mentioned a few. In the anime world, one of the biggest ones at the moment is ReZero. Very similar thing happens in that, except for it's also an isekai, so he's on a different world.
Groundhog Day is obviously the super obvious one as well. It's not Groundhog Day.
No, it's a concept that's been done a million times, but Russian Doll does it in a really interesting and sort of refreshing way. It's like it's probably the darkest sort of humour version that I've seen.
Yes, I mean it is. It's got the tone of kind of like not light-hearted, but it's got the tone of this kind of black comedy. Mm-hmm. And as the episodes go on, it loses that tone, and by the last but one episode is like a horror. Do you know what I mean? There's very little humour to be gleaned from that last but one episode, and it's almost like this psychological horror story.
I mean, they dance through a lot of genres very well.
And she's great in it as well. Is it Natasha Levon? Did I get that right? Natalie Levon.
I think it's Natasha Summit. The one from Orange is the New Black.
The one from American. I always remember her as the one from American Pie. Do you know what I mean? She's great in.
Natasha Leone, I think is.
Leone, we'll go with that. No, she brilliant actress, and really likable character as well. Like holy shit, I'd go for a beer with Nadia. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd absolutely I would like. Nadia, my band's playing on Friday. You're gonna come? Absolutely, dude. I'm there. Do you know what I mean? I'll be mates with Nadia. Like definitely. How's it going with you, mate? What have you been up to?
I'm really gonna throw a curveball this way. I've been watching some anime.
What the fuck have you been doing with? Nah, he does that every week.
Yeah, that's what
you watched, Jordan?
So there was a couple of isekais that I haven't seen. Isekai is. I think in Japanese it means something like parallel world, different world, you know. Mm-hmm. It's a massive trope in anime for maybe like the past 10 years, where someone from Japan basically gets transported to like a fantasy world. That's more video game than real world. In some cases, it's actual video games that take them there, or the world they're stuck in is an actual video game, with like Sword Art Online. Don't watch that.
So like Digimon then.
I don't know nothing about Digimon, not gonna lie.
Digital world, they go to the digital world, these kids.
Yeah, that's probably like the original one, maybe. But yeah, it's so I watched a couple of those. I watched Rising of the Shield Hero. I watched that one first. It's a lot different. Like he gets to this parallel world, and then everyone's against him, and he gets basically accused of rape. He didn't do anything wrong, and. Like he was summoned as this hero, but the whole world thinks he's a complete scumbag, and it's sort of about him trying to do the job that he was summoned for, even without any support. The other heroes that were summoned, they were getting like big bags of cash, loads of people working with them, and no, it's a good one.
Does someone set him up then? Is that the crack? Like...
well, season 2 is meant to be coming this year. Season 1 came out a couple of years ago. Someone set him up, but you knew that he was set up. You knew that he didn't actually do it because, you know, he was accused that he got drunk, and the one person that joined his party, he went and did these horrible things to her.
Right, okay.
But you actually see that she kept trying to push wine on him, and he was like, "No, don't drink. I'm going to bed." And then woke up, and everything had been robbed, and the guards were there to take him away.
It sounds a little bit like Gone Girl, if you've ever seen that.
I have, but I can't remember it. It was one of those.
Yeah. No, just with what you've said, you know, like that, like the world's against him and the public's against him and the media's against him, and but you know for a fact that he's been set up. Like, sounds really interesting. Can you remind me what that was called again?
Yeah, the Rising of the Shield Hero.
Rising of the Shield Hero.
Yeah, and another one that I've been watching. This is a week-to-week one because it's currently airing, but it's it's the title. It's one of those funny titles where it didn't need to be this long. It's I'm a spider, so what, or something like that. But it's basically a classroom gets like bombed or something in Japan, and all of the students and the teacher get reincarnated in this fantasy world. Most of them are humans. Some of them are royalty, and only 2 of that we know of were reincarnated as monsters. One of them's like a dragon monster that's with the humans, and the other one's the main character is a little spider that reincarnates in this massive dangerous monster cave.
So what though?
But so what? Yeah. But
So
it's a really I really like this one. Sort of how the main character isn't like super overpowered from the get-go, like which is common in these sorts of things. They are just a spider, and it's really interesting to see how they take on, like, the most recent episode took down a dragon. You know,
Wow.
and they do really interesting things with the fighting and stuff.
So they're like the spider's got the proportions of a spider. It's not like Spider-Man.
Well, they can still level up and stuff.
Right. Okay.
But they're choosing to stay quite small to keep the speed and stuff like that, and the decisions that they make. But it also seems like they're building quite a bigger world on top of it, and like this leveling system. It's not just your standard. Okay, now I'm level 10. We can do this. Seems like there's a lot of things to it, and a lot of little branching ways that they can go. And yeah, you're almost like, oh no, don't pick that one. Pick that one. That one looks way better.
No, both of those sound sick, man. I'll have to add them to like my ever-growing list. But...
It's a genre that's been done to death, but they're 2 decent ones to maybe get started on.
Yeah, I mean, if it's done well, it doesn't matter how many times it's been done before. You know, like I had a no, you wouldn't call it a professor over here, but I can't think of the right words. I had a creative writing professor, for lack of a better word, once that said, talked about, like, you know, remakes and reboots and things like that. He said, no, every single story worth telling on the planet has already been told, and all that happens now is that it's how you retell them, and it's what you do with the retelling of that infers quality and stuff like that. So it doesn't really matter if it's been done to death. So much as long as it's good, and obviously there's
thousands of films and books that if you stick on a whiteboard with the basic plot points, Shakespeare wrote it.
Yeah, like they said the Lion King's Hamlet in it and stuff like that.
Yeah, loads. Basically, most popular films and stuff you can trace back to a couple of writers hundreds of years ago. It's basically it.
Yeah, so I haven't really been up to much else, to be honest with you. It's community day today on Pokemon Go, so I'm gonna go and get me a shiny Talonflame, and I've nearly finished Cyberpunk 2077, so I should be in a position to talk about that properly next week, and then I'll finally move on to playing a different game, maybe because it feels like I've been playing Cyberpunk and nothing else. But I want to do Horizon Zero Dawn next. I think that's going to be my game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to starting that one.
Oh, so just to jump back to, I really have. It's been an anime week for me, but I started watching a show with my partner called Horimiya, and it's not something that I would thought that I would have. That was good.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Your coaster fell off your mug.
It was the coaster, yeah.
But Horimiya. It's not a story that I thought I'd really like. It's like a rom-com, but just the way that it's told in the interactions with the characters, really good. I would actually recommend it to anyone at this point because of how much I enjoyed it, despite really hating those genres normally. It's currently airing at the moment, and you know what? It's so good that Kate, we ran out of English episodes quite quickly because there's only like 3. She will only watch those English episodes of anime normally with me. She was like, "Nah, fuck it." We were going to watch the Japanese ones, and we stayed up till 2 a.m. catching up.
Nice.
So now we got really hooked into it. Would recommend.
No, that's awesome, man. I'm glad that you've got something there with your relationship to bond over. You know what I mean? Me and
we had nothing before. We despised each other.
No, it's me that common interest, because sometimes it's difficult, and because like my partner, she's never really been like a gamer girl or whatever. Like she was actually surprised and sat with me when I played through Red Dead Redemption 2 for the first time, because she didn't know that games were cinematic. And I don't know how you live in a bubble like that. She was like, bloody hell, this is a video game. I was like, yeah, why? She was like, no, I just didn't know they were like this. And that might have been Red Dead 2, or it might have been Last of Us. But I was playing something like that, and she walked in and she was doing something, and then she got engrossed and sat down next to me. So we play a lot of a lot of games together now. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like I'm sort of showing her what this is all about. You know what I mean? Like I fucking love this shit, and I've loved it since I was a kid, and you've been missing it your entire fucking life. So I'm glad. Let me show you my Pokemons.
Let me show you the world. Okay, that's enough for that.
Nice one. And on that bombshell, I believe that's a podcast, mate.
Mate, it looks a lot like a podcast. It could almost be a podcast.
It looks like a podcast. It smells like a podcast. But mate, it ain't a podcast. I can't believe it's not a podcast. Thank you so much for your time, buddy. I really enjoyed that.
That was good.
Yeah. So I hope that you listening at home have found this entertaining,
or at least a good enough distraction from all of the shit going on and all of that.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Just me. It's good, man. It's good. I enjoy it, and I hope that people listening enjoy it. People seem to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not going to stop making them either. So
you'll be on your own, mate. I'm done. I told you I'll quit.
I'm getting a spin off. Well, we got 69 subscribers on YouTube over the weekend, so we can quit now. That's it.
We decided to quit, but then we ticked over to 70 after like an hour, and I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake, we got to carry on now, haven't we?
We better keep going.
We got to get to 690 or 420.
420. I was going to say that. That's the next one. We'll do a 420.
Fuck 1,000. Fuck 10,000.
420, and YouTube sends you a play button, but it's just like a bong, like the golden bong.
The YouTube play bong. Yeah.
Jord, where can people find you online, mate?
It's on screen, or not if you're listening to the audio. I am at _Sidonian on Twitter. That's about it. And Sidonian on YouTube if you're checking this out on the audio version or the Mukkapod channel. Actually, there really isn't anywhere else that you can check it out, so check out my YouTube channel.
I am at Ataka Official on Instagram, which is my band, of which I am the vocalist. But, and I'm announcing this for the first time today on the podcast, if you're listening to this on Monday, you can also follow me on Twitter at KaijuGroupie91. Yeah, so I've been
this is news to me.
Bullied into getting a Twitter for weeks now. So, yes, that's where you can find me. But if you see me in real life, just leave me alone. That's all I ask.
Not me, though, right?
No, George, you can, fuck off too. Thank you all so much. I don't know what we're going to do next week. I think we need a topic.
It will most likely be a podcast, but we'll let you know.
Yeah, Pacific Rim the Black's going to be out. We can have a look at that.
I don't think I can commit to binging.
I don't want to do a full topic on that though, so we'll have a look at the list and we'll find something. Just text me about it. All right, mate. Nice one.
Nice.
All right.
Pressing
nice
the
one,
button.
guys. Pressing the button. Bye.
Bye.
My pod is busted, my pod is pure. I've got a Mukka, his name is Jord. It's Mukkapod, it's Mukkapod, it's Mukkapod, and we're gonna talk about some characters that ain't even real. I hope someone gives a shit. Ah, kid. There you go.